I could build a spaceship.
Hello and welcome to Space Doc Jury Minisode number 6. Yay, Minisode number 6. I'm Lee.
I'm Peter.
And I'm Andy.
And this week we are going to be talking about, Peter?
Ready Rooms!
That's right, we're going to be talking about kit bashing and spaceships that have been made up by fans and fan creations and just weird designs. Yes, just the idea of kit bashing, the idea of slapping together one spaceship to make another, but not one that would fit in the canon or in the mind of anyone with any kind of design ethic.
Well, certainly no one with any sanity, anyway.
No. Now,
Pimping your ride.
Pimping your ride. I guess that's probably the
I was going to
title.
say, to give people who don't get this some context, back in the day, and way beyond, when things like Star Trek and all this made physical models rather than CG, occasionally the script would call for another ship, and these on the tight deadline. So they'd go out and buy model kits, just off your shelf, ones you can go and buy today, and they would perform unholy mating rituals between these. And you got some, let us generously say, interesting designs came out of this. But it's not just Star Trek that's guilty of this. Star Wars, certainly with their TIE fighters and all this. Battlestar Galactica and Babylon 5. Babylon 5 was very guilty of this with CG models as well. So there's lots of scope here to critique a few things.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? It's the thing with kit bashing is it's a great little thing, and it's a great way of the fandom to kind of celebrate and enhance the universe that they adore, but it's not always a wise move. If we're honest,
it's really not. Can I cite an example?
Go on.
The worst example. I present to the court Exhibit A, the Jaeger class from Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Now, I will describe to you the Jaeger class using an image before me. This is a ship where they have taken the saucer and upper body section of the USS Voyager, an Intrepid class starship, and mated it to the wings and lower body of a Peregrine class fighter. Now, the model kits were roughly the same size, shall we say. But the net result is an unholy abomination of it's like I said, it's the Voyager's saucer, which is very smooth and curvy, spoon-like, if you will. And then the Jaeger class, Jaeger body, which is all these sort of boxy shapes and jet fight. It's meant to be like a fighter plane. They stuck some nacelles on the end of it. This is bad enough, but the absolute worst part is they then have to try and explain this in universe, because this, ladies and gentlemen, is a canon starship. This appeared on screen in, I believe, season 4 of Deep Space Nine.
Yeah,
it's just wrong. That's the only word for it. It's wrong.
Yeah, well, yeah. There's we're gonna have a few wrongnesses going on here. I mean, the Jaeger is bloody horrible. It must be said.
And sort of follows on from the line of First Contact, as in the movie. They produced several CG models for that. Lucasfilm did, for the big battle with the Borg at the beginning. And a lot of them were perhaps not the best designed ships ever. One or two of them have become more popular. But the main problem is that quite often they might look good from one angle, but just from the one angle. Looked at any other angle, they look fugly beyond belief.
It's true. And they apparently, quote, lost, end quote, most of the models for those ships, except the Akira, which was the one ship which looked half reasonable.
Yeah.
The Sabre class, the Norway class.
Yeah.
I can't even remember what the other ones are. But yeah, they lost the CG models for those.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, guys. I had to look this one up. I knew the name, but I had to look this one up because this one personifies the worst of all kit bashing in my mind. Okay, and you guys are going to have to use the power of your own descriptive minds, your fine erudition, to tell the lovely listeners what they think of the USS Preble. I'll just handing this over to Andy Andy and Pete. It's a next generation kit bash.
Okay. Let me have a go. Right. So, ladies and gentlemen, picture, if you will, a Galaxy-class starship's engine nacelle. Now, imagine that there's a smaller version of a Galaxy-class saucer and neck mated directly to the nacelle. And then they took the upper part of the secondary hull with a deflector and stuck it on the top.
Like an eye.
Like an eye. It from the side, it almost looks like some sort of vacuum cleaner. It's... Wow. It's... Yeah.
It's good, isn't it? That feature
good isn't the first word I'd go to.
This is one of the things I was talking about in my preamble. Basically, with a lot of Star Wars and Star Trek video games, when the licenses were, shall we say, a little lax, they had to create new and interesting spaceships, so they just started bashing out like tons of them, and the only thing they could think of was, as long as it's got a saucer and a neck and a nacelle, we're fine. And that'll do big. Exactly.
Yeah. Wow. That's... I mean, again, this goes all the way back to the original series, where I don't think these actually ended up appearing on screen, but what they would do is they take a single nacelle from the original Enterprise and then just mate it to the neck and saucer and call it a Scout class or whatever it is.
It was in the technical manual for the original series.
It was. Now, not all kit bashers fail spectacularly. There's at least one I can think of which sort of works okay, and that's the USS Centaur. Which I will send you both a photo of. And what this is they have taken the saucer from an Excelsior class, the roll bar from the Miranda class, Reliant, and the nacelles from the Excelsior class as well. And I'm not saying it's the best looking ship, but at least it seems to work. You've got the proportions of air.
Can I ask? You go on then. Go on, Pete.
It looks okay from that angle. I'd want to see it sort of from the other side just to see. Because quite often, as I say, these things look good from one angle, but
I'm just trying to find a better picture.
I want to ask a question, actually.
Oh, go ahead, yes.
Why has it got that flexible sort of curtain track all the way around the edge of the saucer? You know, the sort of thing that if you've got a bay window, you've got the little nodules that you stick in the ceiling. Oh, that's just something
off of the... the Excelsior saucer comes without a standard.
Does it really?
It's the phaser, what do you call them? The phaser thing. Strip that fires from.
Yeah, but it's the boxes all around the outside. It makes it look like a
the boxes
cheap
do
70s,
look very weird. It
70s
looks like
curtain
some sort of rash.
But okay. I'm gonna now, Andy. You did a very good description of the USS Preble.
Okay.
So I'm gonna hand this one over purely to Pete. Oh my God! Look, what the fuck is that?
I don't know. It's got some grey shit all over, brown shit.
Oh yeah. I mean, it would okay if it wasn't for the rash it's got. Although
it's got some sort of scabies, hasn't it?
It has, yes. And they've gone for a sort of catamaran style for the nacelles, which
I think in all fairness, this is a CG model which they haven't finished texturing. So I think a lot of that brown stuff's just untextured. But right. Yes.
Okay. Well, here's another design from the Star Trek Armada game which has had a classic series patch. And this one, you're going to love this one. And now this, like I say, the challenge is for Pete to handle this one.
Okay.
So, Pete.
I'm waiting.
I present you the USS Ascender. Take a look at that.
Okay. Now we've got a tiny picture at the moment. I'm waiting for
that's not right.
Yeah. I think it looks like a bloody propeller aeroplane, doesn't it? One of those ones that can land on the sea.
You know
that's
how
just weird.
A little crossover with a question. Probably about a month ago now, they were talking about transporter accidents. That's a transporter accident.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good one, isn't it? That's just.
You expect somebody to pop out the top with a little gun turret a la Indiana Jones and shoot off the back wing by accident.
You know, in CG, when you're working at a CG model and you're scaling it, if you scaled it all the way to 0 and then kept on going and it kind of turns itself inside out, that's what you get.
Yeah.
Can I give one more Trek example?
Go on.
Possibly a slightly better known one from right at the end of Next Generation or All Good Things. The USS Pasteur.
Oh my God.
Which was a kit bash. It wasn't originally intended to appear on screen, but one of the model makers on the series put it together for fun, and they decided they'd use it as the Pasteur. And it is one of the most ugly Federation ships ever. I mean, it's basically like a giant microphone. It's got a huge ball-shaped thing at the front. And some people actually like it, which I don't know. It baffles me.
It looks like a novelty. I'll be honest. It looks like a novelty butt plug attached to one of those 70s corkscrews that you could sort of pull out and sort of. I never understood the idea of the Pasteur. I thought it looked like someone had tried to make a space station and then put nacelles on it and then failed and went, oh fuck it, let's just put a hull on it. No. It's just all sorts of wrong.
And the engineering section's ugly as well. It's got a weird bulge thing at the front. And then the nacelles come off like blooming bicycle handlebars.
Yep, that's it. Yeah, it's just why? It's just stupid. It's like someone sort of put some sort of Star Trek sort of cladding over a chopper bike. Oh, by the way, my last Trek kit bash, before we move on to Star Wars, is this. You're going to love this one. The USS Sapien. It's...
what? I'm clicking on it for a bigger view, but I don't really want it. Ugh.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's...
It's all right. Free for all this time. Anyone can have a crack at that one.
Well, I wouldn't know where to start. It looks like a ferry. It's just... Ugh.
It's not good. I mean, I'll say this about the last two examples. They were... I'm assuming these were fan designs, weren't they? Because I don't remember seeing any of these on the show.
No, like I say, some of these designs are designs are fan designs, but some of these designs are also were used in updates and patches and DLC for Star Trek Armada, the video game.
Right. Well, yeah, it's just that's just. Okay, I'll attempt to describe this. It looks like they've taken the engineering section and the nacelles from an ambassador class, and then they've taken a saucer from something, I'm not sure what, sliced the saucer in half. So you have half of a saucer with the nacelles hanging off the ends.
Like earrings.
Like dangly earrings, exactly like that. It's unique. I'll give you that. It's unique.
Unique.
Yeah, like a Jackson Pollock vomit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I don't have a...
We need to put pictures on the Facebook site so people can see the...
Yes, we'll release a selection, shall we say, for you lucky people to look at.
You're going to love some of these.
Yes, you'll love us for sharing.
So before we get into the other ships, I mean, what do you guys actually feel about kit bashing? I mean, in terms of how it treats the universe that you like? Or, is it a good thing, or is it just something that you just kind of leave off the side as far as your love of any particular universe is concerned?
Well, it makes... Okay, so I'll give you an example of a good kit bash, at least so far as it works in universe, and that would be the Nebula class from the Next Generation, where what they've done is they've taken all the components from a Galaxy-class starship, rearranged them in a slightly different way. And that makes sense because it's saying to you there's a design aesthetic going through the Federation of that period, and this ship continues that. And I understand, especially when you had physical models, you had to kit bash because, you're under production time limits and stuff like this. You have to turn out a ship every week. It's just cheaper to use either molds you've already got existing or to go and buy off-the-shelf kits and stuff like that. That makes sense. I mean, I don't mind it when it continues that design aesthetic. But when they do things like the Jaeger class, which we mentioned at the beginning, and I don't mind so much that they've done the kit bash. What kind of annoys me is when they try and justify it in universe by saying, bullshit like, oh, it was designed to upscale the Peregrine fighter because it was reasons. And it's just like, no, it was the model kit was the same size and available, so you managed to stick it together.
What about you, Pete? How do you come across these kind of kit bashes and just ignore them, or do you think, this is...
I don't mind them until they appear on screen as canon ships, and then it starts worrying me. So, yeah, fine, go off and create your own weird medical ship for your own pleasure, but don't then stick it in the series and claim it's in keeping with the other ships, because it clearly isn't. It's horrible.
Yeah, okie dokie. Well, as far as I'm concerned, kit bashing, especially in the case of the Star Trek universe, and the Star Wars universes are representative of everything I hate about fandom in a nutshell. It's just that sort of like, leave designing to the professionals. But two of the worst two we've mentioned are from professionals.
Yeah.
But exactly. I get that. But the point is, it's like, you at least understand that there's reasons for it to look the way it does. Either they're rushing it, or there's they've got a deadline. I mean, the worst kit bash of all time is arguably the Enterprise J. Which both of you seem to have gone very quiet now that I've mentioned that. But the thing is, it's done in a rush in the last seconds. Oh my God! Quick, let's just bash something out. We've got to, because otherwise we're never going home. And the episode's
that
never going
thing,
out.
Just had to Google it again. Yeah,
you need more alcohol to forget about it now.
Legs akimbo.
Yeah, exactly. Now, but when people sit there with like time on their hands, and they just think things up like that bloody USS Sapien, it's like, what were you thinking, and why were you thinking it? It's just I don't get the point. I'm just doing get off my lawn. I'm a bit too old for this kind of shit. But it's just, to me, it just doesn't make sense to try and create your own classic look with something that obviously looks half-assed.
I can understand, because again, Trek especially has a very particular design aesthetic, for good or for ill. It's saucer, nacelles, struts, and there's only so many ways you can rearrange those bits.
But you can redesign them. I mean, if the Enterprise E and the Voyager didn't prove anything, is that the nacelles don't have to be the shape that they are in the other shows.
Oh, no, yeah, I get that as well. But I'm just saying, again, like I was saying before, with the Galaxy class and the Nebula class, and there was some more done for Best of Both Worlds, which are that same sort of thing, which, again, they just did that. But they did create, for that period of the Next Generation, a very distinct design lineage where they all had the same nacelles and stuff like that. And if you want your ship to be in that era, well, it's like the Reliant, with the Reliant and the Enterprise refit. That's another example where, for the movie universe, they've all got the same saucer design of Aztecs. They've got the same nacelles and stuff like that on there. So I understand if you want your ship to fit in with that particular thing, you are somewhat limited. But there are examples where it was probably best left alone.
Yeah. I mean,
what I'm saying is, I'm not going to universally condemn them for doing that or for trying. I'm just saying sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, but it works less times than it does. Let's put it that way. I mean, one of the last episodes we recorded. I mean, this is all starting to come out in different times and zones, and so I don't know what episode's going in between this one and the last minisode. But the Eagle Transporter, yeah, I think we all agreed, despite all of its failings and its terrible pilot and everything else, it still was quite a nice looking ship. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So who on earth would think to kit bash it and go, you know what it needs? It needs to be a lot longer. I mean, that's not a redesign. That's a complete lack of imagination and just sticking your big grubby jam covered mitts over a design classic to say, look what I've done. I've come up with the one that can hold two things in the middle. It's like, no, it's just stupid. It's just colossally stupid. Or this wonderful little number, which someone called the Kestrel class Eagle, which I'm sure you'll enjoy immensely looking at that, because all they've done is they've taken two totally different ships, stuck them face on, sawn off the nose, and then stuck an eagle head on it. It's just, what is that? And why do you think that even would fit in the universe you created? I mean, it's just, I don't know, I just don't get it. I just don't get it. But that said, I understand that, you know, we are all slightly, well, apart from you, Andy, but I understand we're all slightly guilty, you and I, Pete, are slightly guilty of the kit bashing ourselves.
I mean, I took, unfortunately, I don't know the name of it. It was one of the Star Wars toys that never actually appeared in the film. After a while, they went off-piste.
Oh, yeah.
And there was something that allegedly was piloted by C-3PO and R2-D2, which had like these VTOL engines.
Right.
Do you remember the thing? I can't remember what it was called now, unfortunately. But literally, it was a little two-pilot craft with three little stubby legs. It looked horrible to start with. And I decided that I was going to kit bash this and turn it into a great big spaceship, basically. And yeah, I made a horrible mess of it. I mean, basically, my grand plan didn't go much beyond giving it a dirty grey wash to make it look like it was a bit more battle damaged and not made of plastic. But then I sort of glued the doors open to make landing ramps, and yeah, it ended up looking like it even more of a mess than it started with, which is some going, really.
Yeah, they would have taken a little bit of effort, I think, because those off-piste between films toys were a bit dodgy. The one kit bash I did wasn't really a kit bash, and it was. And this is why I kind of don't like people redesigning classics, because I've tried it myself, and I know about halfway through I just decided, you know what? No, this is just clearly I'm just wasting my time here. Was taking the NX-01 configuration of the Enterprise. You know, that sort of weird. It's got two little legs sticking out the back of the saucer with the nacelles hanging off of it, and I did it in the classic. Original Trek series stylings, so all smooth and kind of eggshell blue, and it looked bloody horrible. And that was my one dangle with kit bashing, such as it was. And I just thought, nah, best just leave it to the people who know what they're doing, really. Before we wrap this up, I mean, Trek, obviously, we've mentioned, and I've mentioned Space 1999, but is there any Star Wars kit bashes that you either like or dislike?
Well, I don't know about Star Wars, but I can give you a Battlestar one.
Okay, give us a Battlestar one.
I can give you this one. This is called the Colonial Defender.
Okie dokie, let's have a look at this. What? Okay. Do you want to have a crack at describing that, Pete?
Well, I mean, it's the front end of the Galactica.
Classic
Galactica, yeah.
Yeah, and then it's a mess. It's like two legs akimbo again.
Yeah.
Weird.
I mean, looking at it, I mean, from what I can see, they've got the head of the classic Galactica. They've got these two big fat arms sticking off the back of the head. And then
I could probably give you
on the end of the arms.
I've got a 5-way one, so you can have a look at multiple angles.
I was going to say on the end of the arms is the engines that used to be on the Galactica, but they've been turned 90 degrees.
Oh, it looks even weirder from above. It's got a weird wang hanging from the bottom. I don't know.
It's got the Galactica launch bay.
Oh my word!
Right, but just the one hanging like a giant wang,
just slung in the middle. So. Yeah, so just to describe this, I mean, it's like literally like if you look at it it's like a kind of Mobius strip of a Galactica ship. If you look at it from the front or from the side, it looks like the top of the Galactica because of the engines are at 90 degrees. And then if you look at it from the top, it looks like the side of the Galactica because the engines are now 90 degrees to the camera, but the head's the right way orientated. That's just bonkers. That's just bonkers confusion. That's just someone just turning some bits around and making a ship just because. That's gobblers. I hate that. Do you actually like that, Andy?
I don't hate it. I mean, it's actually turned up in the reimagined Battlestar as well. They used it when the fleet jumps out from New Caprica in season 3.
Right.
It appears in that. No, I don't hate this because it with the classic Galactica, it suggests a support ship or something like that. Again, it shares design lineage. I mean, yeah, it's a kit bash, so they've taken model kit bits and stuff like this and kind of made something a bit different. But there's a design aesthetic that's gone into their sort of thing. It looks like a smaller support craft to support one of the Battlestars.
Yeah.
So no, I don't hate it. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think it's better to do something like that than to just stick a smaller Battlestar next to it and just say, "Oh, that's that." So no, I don't have any problems with it.
Okay. Well, just before we go, then allow me to just in case it sounds like I'm just hating on Star Trek. Let me just offer you
hate on something else.
Yeah, let me just hate on something else instead. I want to provide you with something that actually appears in Wikipedia, and we know how accurate that is. Obviously,
we know how well respected it is as well.
We know how well respected it is within the company, but it's got a whole feature on it. It's got a whole entry on it, and it's called the TIE-X. And this personifies everything that's wrong with kit bashing right in my eyes.
Well, it's not just bad, it's lazy, isn't it? It
That's,
really is.
Yeah, I mean, and that right there, Peter, that's it. It's lazy. I don't mind bad so much if someone's put effort and thought into it. If the end result didn't work, fair enough. But that's just lazy. That's just like...
What happens if you put a TIE fighter's wings on an X-Wing?
That's right.
Now,
you look like an idiot.
They did this themselves in the prequels because you have the Jedi starfighters, don't you?
Yep, that's right.
Which are like... There's the hint of the TIEs coming in there. You've got the...
particularly the later ones for the pop-out wings,
With a pop-out wings. So they did a much better job of that in the prequels. And there you go. That's the only good thing you can say about the prequels.
Wow. That's a shocker.
It is. They showed a design lineage between the TIE fighters and the X-Wings, how they all came from the original Jedi starfighters from, was it episode 2, the triangle ones, is it?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
In episode 3, they were slowly sort of starting to evolve into A-Wings as well.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But they've just taken... I mean, this doesn't even make sense in universe, since the X-Wings are made by a different company to the TIE fighters.
Yep.
So it's just like...
Yep.
That's just not going to happen.
It's just bonkers. It just does not make sense at all. But anyway, so we've obviously offered up some horrors on the old kit bashing. But out there, you listening to this, have you got any kit bashes? Have you done kit bashing? Do you like kit bashing? Do you have any examples you want to show off? Then head on over to the Facebook group, which is facebook.com/groups/SpaceDogJury, and either put us right or show us some examples or show us a gallery of horrors, which we've got plenty, and when this episode goes up, we're going to show you them all. I tell you that.
Right, wait, did you just invite them to, they show us theirs, you'll show them yours? Because I'm not okay with that.
Aren't you? That's not what you said last night.
Good night, everybody!
Yes, thank you very much, everyone. Thanks for listening, and
we'll be back next week with Ready Rooms.
That's right. Until next time, take care. Speak to you soon. Tatty bye.
Cheery bye.
Bye.
Space Dog Jury is a production of 3 Angry Beards for GeekPlanetOnline.com.